Hi everyone, and welcome back or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. And if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to be a part of the bilingual family. So in today's video, I'm going to do my Black Friday recommendation list for you guys, where I basically tell you which makeup I recommend buying during the Black Friday sale. I do want to say that I don't endorse you to buy as much as you want to, but if you have been looking at certain products like the ones that I'm going to mention, I just want to say they are nice products, and if you want to buy them, I'm here to say that they are good products. So I'm just going to show you all of the products by category. Okay, so now that I've said all of that, products will be linked down below in the description. Please use those links if you want to. It would help me and my channel out so much, but you don't have to do it if you don't feel comfortable. So I'm gonna start with foundation because I'm not a primer person. I think you guys know that by now. So I have 3 foundations that I would recommend if you are looking for a foundation during Black Friday. So the first one is actually from a site that I don't know if they're going to participate in Black Friday. This is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation, and this is beautiful. I recently reviewed this on my YouTube, so if you want to have like if you want like a full review on this foundation, I would definitely check out that review. Sure, it's a very beautiful natural skin-like finish, medium to buildable pigmentation, so it's not as high coverage, and it's very natural on the skin, which is something that I like. I do recommend, if you are dry skin like me, using a really good moisturizer underneath this because it is quite self-setting and it does dry down to that satin matte finish. But this is a foundation that I just absolutely love, and if they have a Black Friday sale, which I don't know if they will, I definitely recommend checking this one out if you are more into that luxury kind of type of makeup. Next up are also 2 of my favorites. So I have the Nabla Skin Realist, which is this one right here. This is a tinted balm with light to medium coverage, I would say, and a very glowy finish. So if you're looking for more of a glowy finish instead of a natural one, this one is definitely the bomb, and it wears very beautiful on top of the skin, works well with any kind of product. And then one that is very similar to that is the Fenty Beauty Eaze or Ease Drop Skin Tint. Again, this is a skin tint, so not a foundation, and this one is slightly more on the satin side, so it's not as glowy as the Nabla one, but it's also not as self-setting as the Lisa Eldridge one. So this is a beautiful combination, and this one, despite it being a skin tint, really wears well on the skin, and I love this one so much. Together with my Nabla one, I love to mix these as well. Concealer, I have a lot of drugstore concealers that I like the Essence one and basically any kind of Catrice one. So those are already concealers that I definitely recommend picking up during Black Friday if you're looking at them. But my other favorites are the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is basically an eye cream and a concealer in one, which is also how they describe it. This is my second tube of this, and this is a beautiful, very hydrating concealer. So anytime that I feel like my eyes are looking crepey or just are very dry, I go for this one because it's very hydrating, very moisturizing. This one is great if you want something that is a little bit more on that moisturizing aspect, and it's almost like skincare. Insane. And then I also have the Rare Beauty Concealer. This is also one of my favorites. As you can see, it's almost empty because I use it very frequently. I have the shade 130N, which is perfect if I want to brighten up my under eyes just a little bit. This one is more on the satin side, whereas the Kosas one is very creamy and moisturizing. A concealer that has a beautiful natural finish but is a little bit more on that natural matte side, I would go for this one. For powder, I basically only have one recommendation, and that is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. This is the one that I have. I have the shade Airy, and if I turn it to the side, you can see that I pretty much have flattened the bulb already, and that is because this one is really beautiful. It's a powder that sets the under eyes but doesn't emphasize any dryness, fine lines or flakiness. So this is a beautiful powder if you have dry skin. If you have oily skin, I think this will work as well. This also comes in a couple of shades. I have the lightest one, Airy, but it has like a range of like deep to light tones, so that's beautiful as well for a setting powder. And I also really like the packaging because of this lilac-y color. So beautiful powder, the best powder I have found so far. Now we come into the big business of this entire video, and that is bronzer bronzer and blush. I'm gonna start with bronzer because I have less bronzers to talk about than I have blushes. I have so much blushes to talk about. These are all of the bronzers that I'm gonna talk about, so I'm gonna keep it really short. Not one of them is the same, so they serve a different purpose, each one of them. So I'm gonna start with, I have no idea. I'm gonna start with one that I haven't really mentioned on my channel as much, and that is because it's just one that I use on the daily and I forget to talk about it, but it's the iconic London Sheer Bronze. The tone of this is kind of on the more neutral to contourish side, so this is the shade, and then when you blend it out, I just took a lot, so it looks like this. And then when you shear it out even more, because I took a lot of product, this is what it looks like. So it's pretty much untraceable on the skin. And the shade works well for me as a contour shade, which is why I love this product so much. Because it's so sheer, but it has that slightly contoury kind of color. This is perfect to carve, well not carve, but define the facial features in a very, very natural way. So if you're new into contouring and you want to try something like this, I definitely recommend this one for that, because it's pretty much untraceable on the skin. Definitely one of my 2021 favorites, but don't tell anyone. Now, something completely on the opposite side of that is the Cosmetics Multi-Face Plate Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Summer, which is a little bit dark for my complexion, and I do have to be careful with how much I apply on my face. So this is the color right here, but this is so creamy when you apply it, and it gives the face such a beautiful natural glowy finish, and then it dries down to a little bit more of a matte formula, and it really stays on your skin. Natural finish but matte at the same time. And this is a cream product in a stick that is so easy to blend out. The only thing that you have to be careful with is the amount of pigmentation of this product, because it's very pigmented and that can hinder the blendability of the product if you use too much. So use it sparingly and you'll be fine and you'll look beautiful. Then we have the Danessa Myricks Contour Balm. Now for me, this isn't a contour balm, I have to be honest. This is a beautiful, beautiful product, and it's very stiff in the pan, so it's not as creamy as some of the other products that I'm going to mention, like the Cosmetics one. But at the same time, it does blend out really, really beautifully once it's on your face. And what I like the most about this product is the tone of this cream bronzer. I do feel it's more on the olivey side, so it has a little bit of a green undertone. I like to talk about translucency in cream bronzers and cream blushes a lot, but this one has that kind of thing where it is pigmented, but your skin shines through, and I love that. I love that a lot. And also Danessa Myricks, her brand is like amazing. Obviously, Fenty Beauty cream and powder bronzer are amazing. This is the cream one, this is the powder one. I have talked about these guys so much, but they're still some of my favorites for bronzer, so I still highly recommend them. And then also something that I discovered this year that I wanted to recommend is the Patrick Ta cream contour and powder bronzer duo, and I have the shade She's Statuesque. I dug my finger in this as I do with a lot of cream products. The contour of this, which is the cream product, is beautiful. It's very, very natural, and I love, love, love the color of this. It's a little bit more of that peachy tone, I would say. It's like it has a little bit of rosiness to it, but you can see that it looks like a contour shade on me, but it has a little bit of warmth, so it can be a bronzer as well. It's not my favorite for on the nose. And then the powder bronzer is very unique because it's not dusty, it's not very powdery, so it's like a very kind of almost stiff formula. And the shade of this powder bronzer is also a little bit more on the neutral side, so it isn't as orange as a lot of powder bronzers can be, and that makes it a very like natural color on the skin. So this one is definitely one of my most used ones this year as well. And finally, and this is a little bit of a cheat because it's a very recent one in my collection, but I immediately love this, is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzers. Now, I love these guys. So I have Feeling Ashy, and then I have 10 Lines, which is a bronzer, and then this one is more of a contour shade. If you look at Feeling Shady, you can really see the gray undertone in this. It's gray. What I love about these is that they're very creamy, but they're also quite sheer in pigmentation. So this guy right here is the contour. They're kind of sheer in pigmentation, and they have also like that natural finish that I really like, so it's pretty much untraceable. And most of all, these are so easy to blend out. They are so easy to blend out. It's insane. This is the bronzer, and then this is the contour shade. Beautiful. I love both of these. Elf Cream Putty Bronzers. Some of the best. Now we come to the big bulk, like the big guys. We come to the cream blushes. So I'm going to quickly talk about the ones that I also recommended this year and that I still recommend this year, previous year, and that I also still recommend this year. So Fenty cream blushes, still some of my favorites. I have 3 shades right here, and I still recommend these for just really nice blush colors and unique blush colors, but also a really beautiful natural formula that isn't too greasy on the skin. Then the Patrick Ta bronzer is still in She's So LA, is still one of my favorite unique shades in a blush. It has that beautiful sun-kissed appearance on the cheeks, and just a very beautiful formula in the powder and in the cream. So definitely recommend this one as well. The Rare Beauty liquid blushes, of course, beautiful, very pigmented, and very more on the matte side or on the glowy side, depending on how you want them. Unique shades, beautiful formula that lasts a very long time on the skin, and still one of my favorite blushes. And then also a blush that I recommend every single year, I feel like, is one of the only powder blushes, and that is the Nabla, what is this called again? Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Independent. So this is a sheen, it's a blush with a sheen. So it's a powder blush that has a sheeniness, which is why I like it, because it's not matte on the face, like it's not flat, it's just, it has that beautiful blushy color. It gives a little bit of a shine without shimmers or glitter. This is a color, beautiful. I love it so much. It's beautiful. So those were the old blushes. Now I'm going to talk about some new blushes that I recommend for this year's Black Friday. So the blush that I'm wearing on my cheeks today is actually also from Rare Beauty. I have so many blushes. Wait. So these are, look at these beautiful packages. I love this. So this is the one that I have on my cheeks right now, which is Nearly Mauve. And then I also have Nearly Neutral, which has become my everyday shade in blush. It's such a beautiful blush, and I really like the packaging of these because I think it's so cute, but also the formula is very beautiful. It has pigmentation, but they're a little bit more sheer than the liquid blushes, and they also have a little bit more of that translucent kind of color. So these cream blushes from Rare Beauty, I'm going to discuss them very soon on my YouTube channel, but these are beautiful, and I really like these. Then also a favorite, and I actually bought 2 new colors, are the e.l.f. Putty Blushes, and I only had the shade Turquoise and Quakos at that time, but now I also have Maldives and Tahiti. So I bought some extra ones. Again, this is pretty much the same thing from the e.l.f. Putty Bronzers. Beautiful cream formula that really blends out so beautifully, and they have really amazing colors. This one is obviously very dark, but it's so beautiful on the lips. I don't know if you've ever seen this, like, they are quite pigmented, and they are a little bit stiffer in the actual compact than, for example, the bronzers, but once you pick them up with a brush, I definitely recommend using a brush with these. These are beautiful, and like I said, I love the colors, I love the formula. So one of the old ones that I think recommended last year is the Tower 28 cream blush. This is highly pigmented, but again, so stunning on the skin. I really love this one because it has a lot of glow if you want it. But you can also kind of tone it down by how much you use, so it's very versatile in that aspect. And this color is specifically why I love it. It's Golden Hour, and it's like a beautiful orangey pink, which I think is so stunning. The last 2 blushes that I want to talk about are from the same brand, and they have the almost exact same finish, but the way that they apply is a little bit different, and the way that they look on the skin is a little bit different. So this is the Cosmetics Soft Blush, and this is the shade Lychee. So this is the color, a beautiful light pink peach, so stunning. Like the bronzer from Cosmetics in a stick form, this is also quite very creamy. Like it's really creamy to the point where I don't know how it holds its shape. But at the same time, it blends out so beautifully on the skin, and then once it's on the skin, it does set down to more of a matte finish. For the serum drop blushes, this is also really beautiful, but this is a lot more glowy. So if you're looking for a more glowy blush, this is the one that I highly recommend. This is a color Venetian Rose, which is beautiful. I do want to mention that this shade is very pigmented, so when you pick it up, be careful with that. But once you blend it out, it's such a beautiful shade, and it's very glowy on the skin, which I love for summer, but also winter. Like this almost gives you wetness on the skin, which I love it. Now I'm going to continue with the liquid highlighters, and then we have eyes and lips, and I think that's where we can round up this video. I have one powder highlighter that I would recommend, and that is this one from Fenty Beauty. I did pan this side, and I'm working on this side, but it's a little bit more slow. A powder that is a cream, if that makes sense. It's a very creamy powder, and it doesn't emphasize too much texture on the skin either. Liquid or cream highlighter. So the first one is again the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow one. Despite what you might think, this is actually a lot more pigmented and a lot more shiny than you would think of when you think of a highlight by a professional makeup artist. This is a lot more intense. But I do love it a lot because it has a very like light rosy undertone. I have the shade Cosmic Rose, and it's also quite moisturizing on the skin. Like this is almost a little bit like, and it has a very serum like feeling, if that makes sense. So I love it for that. And then I have two of these, and these are actually quite similar apart from the finish on the skin. So they both have almost like a gloopy thick consistency. This is the Vieve Skin Dew, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Glow. The biggest difference between these two is the finish on the skin. So whereas this one is very shiny and very glowy, almost like luminous to the top, it also is a little bit tacky, and it has a little bit more of that glossy appearance. Whereas this one is a little bit more on the metallic side and also dries down almost completely. So there's no tackiness. So that's the biggest difference. Those are the highlighters that I pretty much use every single day, especially like the Vieve and the Lisa Eldridge one. The Anastasia one is for special occasions when I really want some bang bang bang, but that is a little bit more metallic, you know. Eyeshadow palettes. Basically any eyeshadow palette from Nabla is what I would recommend picking up. My favorites are the Cutie Midnight palette, which is blue tones, stunning. The Cutie Analogue palette, which is a little bit more warm tones, and the shimmers inside of this one are insane. Ooh, it's like a leveled up mature shimmer. So it's not metallicness, but it's like beautiful shimmeriness. And then also, of course, the Nabla Secret palette, which is one of my absolute favorites because it has a lot of neutrals, but also really cool like fun colors, and the shimmers in this are very unique and also age friendly, I feel like. Then I would also recommend these little guys from e.l.f. These are so cute, and they have such a good formula. The matte senses are insane. I do love the shimmers as well. Shadows blend out themselves basically, and the shimmers are very age appropriate and have like that mature shimmeriness. If you're looking for a good neutral palette, Soft Glam by Anastasia Beverly Hills, one of my favorites. Beautiful shimmery tones, but also beautiful mattes that really blend out themselves, and it's everything that you need in a neutral palette is inside of this one. Also, something that I wanted to recommend is the Nabla Cupid's Arrow. This is a cream stick eyeshadow, I would say. And this is one of my favorites because it doesn't crease on me. It's very easy to blend out, so it's creamy, but it doesn't crease, and it gives like a beautiful wash of color. This is the shade Arrow 5, and it's a beautiful like everyday appropriate color. I love this one as well, and I quickly wanted to mention this one. And then finally, my favorite palette this year that I really want to recommend. It's also the shimmer that I have on my eyes. It's mainly for the shimmers because the shimmers inside of this palette are insane, but I also really love the mattes in this palette, and that is the Nikkietutorials X Beauty Bay palette. Look at this. Look at how reflective they are, but they don't have a lot of fallout, and they're very creamy. They almost feel like a cream on the skin. Look at this. Look at it. I'm gonna check if I have some space on my hands, but look. Look at that. So if you want a palette that's beautiful, Beauty Bay has some really good like Black Friday sales, and I think also in this palette, so link in the description. I mean, come on guys, this is beautiful. And then finally, lip products. Each and every lipstick from Lisa Eldridge is worth the money and worth picking up during a sale because they're quite expensive, so a little bit of a promotion isn't gonna hurt your wallet as much, you know. From their luxuriously lucent lip colors, which are the more like glowy, not glowy, but like moisturizing lipsticks, to their true velvets, which are like matte lipsticks. Every single one is worth its money if you're looking to pick them up. Then I would also recommend the Fenty Gloss Bombs. They are still some of the best glosses on the market. I have the shade Cheeky and of course Fenty Glow, the original one, but these are beautiful. They are so good. They give you a lot of sheeniness on the lips, and I love that. And they have some interesting colors as well. Also, a beautiful gloss that I have on my lips right now, but I'm going to reapply it, is the Catrice Lip Oil. This is more of a lip oil, so it's a little bit more glidey, and it looks very high shine, as you can see on my lips right now. This is also not tacky, not stringy, and it's a beautiful color. I think this is called Raspberry Glow, and it's very affordable and very beautiful. So if you're looking for a good gloss, that one is one of my favorites. Also, one of my favorite glosses is the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jelly. This is even more, how would you describe it, glidey and buttery than all of the other ones that I talked about. It's really almost like, yeah, you can see that like jelly formula, how it's like a little bit more dense in formula almost. Cashew, which is such a beautiful color. It's a very like warm toned. This is a lip gloss that also kind of hydrates your lips as well, which is something in my opinion that is amazing. So those are all of my glosses that I highly recommend, and the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. For lip liners, I would like to recommend the Nabla Close-Up Lip Shaper because they are very pigmented, and they almost have like a stiff formula, but they're creamy at the same time. So they have incredible longevity, which is what I love in the shade right here. This is shade number 2. And I just overall love this lip pencil. I would have also recommended my Catrice Long Lasting Lip Pencil, but I recently discovered that that one is discontinued, and I've never been more disappointed. But yeah, this one from Nabla. And then also, if you want a little bit of a contoury shade, the NYX lip pencil in the shade Nude Beige is one of the best lip pencils for contouring. So here we have the Nabla one, and this is the NYX one. So you can see that it's a little bit more cool tone, and it's also the one that I have on my lips right now. And just very good if you're as pale as me and you want like a little bit of a natural lift in your lips. This one is perfect for that. And I think NYX also has like a huge range of lip pencils, and they're quite affordable as well, so I highly recommend these two. So now I have 3 perfumes. 3 of my favorite perfumes that I would recommend picking up during the Black Friday sale if you're interested in them is Si by Giorgio Armani. As you can see, I have almost nothing left of this perfume. Then Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One. Again, almost nothing left in this because I love it so much. They're very like full like flavors, scents. This one is a little bit more musky and a little bit more woody, whereas Si is a little bit more feminine and classic, I would say. But go smell it for yourself if you can. I love these two. And then also, if you want to smell like fireplaces, By The Fireplace from Replica. But this is beautiful now that it's autumn, and I've been wearing it all the time because it smells like burnt wood. and it's so good. This is a 30ml version, so this is about 50 euros, I think. But they also have another version that's like $100. I didn't want to do that. But if you can, go smell it in the store, and if you don't, I don't know what to say in that case. Yeah, those are my 3 perfumes that I would recommend if you're looking for a perfume, and if you have your eyes on that, I definitely recommend them, because as you can see, I've almost used up 2 of them, and this one is on the way of being used every day. So that, guys, completes everything in today's video. It's quite a long one. I have to admit, if you have that many products to talk about, that you kind of forget, you kind of run out of words to say. So that's everything for today's video. Those are all of my Black Friday recommendations. I think when it comes to my own wish list, I have like soft boxes that I would love to pick up, like a little bit of a lighting situation for college and also for my videos. I think I'm gonna look at that. Also some new brushes, because some of my brushes are very, very old, and I do find that I am lacking certain brushes in my brush collection, so I'm gonna look at brushes. Maybe a good moisturizer and a little bit of hair care situation, but I think that's pretty much everything that I want to spend my money on during this Black Friday sale. I also know that there's a holiday sale coming soon in December for, you know, the holidays, New Year's Eve and Christmas and stuff. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it now or if I'm gonna buy it in the future. Like I said, makeup is not worth financial ruin. So these are just products that I have in my collection, and if you want to pick something up, these are the ones that I do recommend. Links to all of these products are in the description down below. I use those links because they are affiliate links, which means that I make a small commission out of them, which really helps myself and my financial situation, but also just the continuation of this channel. So if you use them, I'm very, very grateful for that. It means a lot to me, and just thank you for using them for the past few months. It's been really amazing. That's everything for today's video. I hope to see you soon, and bye bye!